Hello everyone, welcome to episode 912 of Cold Wave Soundcheck. I'm Aaron Pollock. Cold Waves has returned for 2021 in Chicago, kicking off Thursday, September 23rd and running through Sunday the 26th at Metro, Smart Bar, and G-Man. Cold Waves is a celebration of Chicago's relationship with industrial music, the memory of a fallen brother, and a fundraiser for suicide prevention charities. For more information, including the full lineup and ticket links, head to coldwaves.net. This week we're chatting with Saturday Metro headliner Jean-Luc Meyer. This is Front 242.
Good evening, Chicago! And once again, there's no place like home! All right. Show us the way, motherfuckers!
Obviously, your tour got canceled with COVID last year. Just take me through the past 15, 16 months, how, COVID affected you, both personally and professionally for the band.
because the inspiration of the band comes obviously from the interaction of people in the society in general. When the lockdown started, we were sort of confident that we had to stay aside. We could not see each other as often as before. And first we thought, well, it might be inspirational at some point, but it wasn't at all. We were all a bit disappointed because we had worked quite hard in 2019 to prepare a complete new show. And then we could only play it once in March 2020 before the lockdown started. And I must say, none of us was very creative in the meantime. I think I wrote maybe 2 or 3 songs, which is a much slower pace than usual. And I think Richard and Patrick also didn't have many ideas. All of us, we worked on other things, in fact. I get interested in many other things that have nothing to do with music. I hope that at some point I can bring these new ideas and concepts and whatever, I can bring that back to the music, but I'm not sure at all. We are anyway very excited to be on the road again and to be able to play our show, obviously.
Yeah, I noticed that with the canceled tours, I saw there were some older live performances that were put up by Alpha Matrix, including the 1991 USA Tyranny for You tour, which, you know, that sounds really great. It's not easy to find really good sound recordings from that long ago. Who was able to track down those audio sources and put that together so people could have something to listen to in the meantime?
At that time, and for a long period, we recorded everything that we did. Not systematically every evening, but very often. We recorded our sounds live, and Daniel kept that. And so it was not too difficult to rework it because the recordings at the source were quite good. They were made directly at the mixing desk, and they were of quite good quality.
I have a fan question here from Jason Miles. He wants to know about this new set list that you're working for the upcoming tour. He was hoping for maybe some older tracks that we haven't heard in a while. Is there anything that you could say about that?
Yes, we have old tracks indeed that we haven't played for a long time, and we have new tracks also that have never been released on any album. And we have, regarding new tracks, we have more that are going to be introduced slowly during the live performances, according to the response of the audience. These new tracks are not final yet; they still need to be worked. But playing them live will be a good way of giving us idea how to finish them. And there will be something like from 3 to 4 old tracks that will be played in new versions, and a minimum of 3 new songs during every show. They might change from one show to the next. We are flexible about that. We're going to see according to the reaction of the audience.
I just want to make sure that I'm understanding this correctly. Are you saying you have brand new Front 242 songs that have never been heard live before, never been recorded anywhere before, not even on someone's cassette from, you know, some show you played it once in some random place? This is brand new, absolutely new Front 242 music. That is incredibly exciting. I'm very glad to hear that.
That is exactly what I'm saying, yes.
Wow. That I'm sure once everyone hear this, if they weren't aware of that before, I'm sure they'll be even more excited come September.
I hope they will be as good as the former stuff, of course. That's always the danger.
When I talked to Richard a couple years ago, and I said, it seems like you guys are content with where you are. This is our catalog of songs, and this is what we're going to play until we're inspired, and we haven't been inspired. So it sounds like maybe things have changed since I last spoke to him a couple of years ago.
Well, there are new ideas, There are new ways that we want to try to explore. And we're gonna see. It's just 3 tentative songs. There are many more to follow. We don't really need to make new songs because we know that if these new songs, for example, replace old songs, I'm pretty sure that it's the old replaced songs that the people will want to hear or something like that. You know, it's a bit tricky when you have a catalog of songs like that you have been playing for quite a long time on stage. People want to hear these songs. So we were sort of forced to make some choices, to discard some songs that maybe we are a bit tired of playing, and to introduce these new ones. And I hope our choice is going to please the audience, sort of.
Until you do one of those shows where you play every album beginning to end over several nights, I'm sure there'll always be someone who'll be upset that they didn't hear that one song. There's no pleasing everyone.
It's impossible, yeah, because we also we could maybe do it if we had shows lasting for 2.5, 3 or 4 hours like some bands do, but that's not our style. I mean, we try to keep this format of 1 hour 10, 1 hour 15 minutes, 1 hour 20 minutes max.
Recently, you did some vocals for Frontline Assembly for their song Barbarians. You know, you've done a lot of side projects and working with other bands. So, you know, you mentioned this a little bit before, but do you have any other recent work that you've been doing that you want to talk about?
Within the last 12 months, I did 2 songs with 2 American artists. The first is Jay Gillian with his band JG and the Robots. It's a song called Robots in Berlin, and we did a version in English and also a version in German of the same song called Roboter in Berlin. And then I made well, it's not just me, but the people of the band, we have one friend in Texas who owns a club in Houston called Numbers. His name is Robert Ellinger. Because his club, of course, had to shut down because of the lockdown, he made a first album, a sort of benefit album for his club that was quite successful. I didn't work on the first one, but I told him, if you make a second one, I want to be on. And so I made a cover with a band called Machine X. The guy behind the project is Robin Barber. And we did a cover of a song of the 80s. It's rather a pop song, so that was not our usual ground, I would say. And a song by Stephen Tintin Duffy, he was the first singer of Duran Duran. Then he went solo, and he made one of my favorite songs ever. It's called Kiss Me. And we made a cover of that song. And it's on the album Numbers, called Numbers number 2. It's being printed right now. It should be on sale very soon. It's already on YouTube, and it was well, not much work from me, because I only had to sing lyrics that were already existing, but it was fun. It was really a good thing for me, sort of not to rust too much during this lockdown.
according to the Discogs website, it lists that you have 8 official projects that they're aware of. I'm sure many of those, were just, sort of one-off things here or there, but are any of those, do any of those really, stand out to you in a way that you're really proud of and want to continue working on?
I'm proud of everything. Of course, I had more fun in some than others, but generally, I'm really happy of everything that I did because if I did that, it's because there was a good relationship between the people who were involved. Contrary to Front 242, where the relationships between the members were always a bit tense and not always obvious and easy, with all the other bands, everything went really smoothly, and I had fun generated in everything. Of course, when I listen today to some things that I did, I think, this is not really the right level regarding the production, or maybe regarding the singing or the lyrics or whatever. But generally, on the spot, I was really happy, and even if the results sometimes can be, I would not say disappointing, but maybe not exactly what I had envisioned for the song, I can agree with the choices that were made and say, okay, I am proud that I was part of this.
Since you mentioned that Front 242 is more of a collaborative effort, is there anything that maybe people don't realize was a challenge to finish or complete or get to the spot where you were all happy with it?
I think the most difficult thing in 242 was to keep the band in balance between the 4 egos of the 4 members, each going in a complete different direction, I would say. That should have meant, I would say, in a normal band, that would have caused the end of the band. We were close to terminate the group more than once, quite very often, but we always managed to sort of extract the better juice out of these tensions and use these tensions to do something creative, I think. Even if sometimes it was not easy, I think we took the right decision. In fact, we stopped for 4 years at the end of 1993. And then when we reunited in 1997, we thought, it's only going to be for 10 shows, maybe 20. And then there were 30, 40. And then we said, don't we feel okay doing that? And everybody agreed we should go on. Of course, we took some sabbatical years here and there, just to say, okay, now we're gonna retire for 12, 16 months and be on our own and regroup our forces each on each side. But then we went back together, and it was always as fun as earlier. So, and in the meantime, we're all older than 60 now. So, but it's still as fun as it used to be. And I think also we have refused lots of offers, and every year we refuse more offers than we accept. And so there is we have that sense of rarity, I would say. We don't want to play too often. If we would agree to play everywhere we are required, that would be something like 100 shows a year. But then after 3 years, the people will be tired of you and won't want to listen to see you again. So the fact that we have played during the last year something between 20 and maybe 30, maximum 35 shows a year, even with years with no show, I think that was a good decision. That was our pace, and it contributes to make us a little rare and not to be overexposed and being present all the time.
How do you decide which shows you want to play when it comes time to saying yes or no?
There are many factors. The technical factors are important. Of course, there are places that we like more than others. There are organizers that we have known for a long time. And who have a sort of a priority. There are also new markets and new people who want to work with us, and that is not uninteresting. But for these kind of offers, we have to be really careful and check what is offered and what is feasible, and that's it. But we make a close examination, case by case, all the time, to be sure that that we are not going to be trapped. For example, I don't know how it was in the States, but here in Europe we had two lockdowns, in fact. So there was an opening during last summer, and we were proposed to play in a circus. That meant the people would sit around us. The PA system was very weak. I know some musicians who accepted to play in these conditions, and they all regretted it, because there was one seating punter every 10 seats, something like that. The sound was bad. Playing in the middle of a sort of circus, I don't even know the technical word, but on these little pieces of wood, they said it was a total mistake, and it didn't help the people to have a good idea of our show, and that's exactly what we anticipated. So we refused immediately when we realized what the conditions would have been.
How's playing Russia?
It's very strange. It's not my favorite country in the world, but what is interesting is that the opening of the scene there is quite young compared to Europe. When we go there, it's always, they have the newest material and very young people working there, but really knowing their job and their stuff. So we expected sort of to get in the middle of very, very old material in very old-fashioned venues. The venues are sometimes old-fashioned, but the equipment and the professionalism of the people there is quite outstanding, I must say. I was really surprised by that. And I must say that every time we went to Russia, we were treated like princes there by the organizers, who took us to the best restaurants, to the best bars, and we have nice memories there. Of course, when you are in Russia, you stick to the people who are supposed to be with you, with a tour manager, with one or two bodyguards, to make sure that everything happens correctly and you don't go away alone. It might be dangerous.
I know we're up on 30 minutes. That was really all I had for you. Was there anything else that I missed that you wanted to mention?
Well, I suppose it's obvious, but we are very excited to come back to the States. We have many friends there, and I hope that the shows are going to be good enough for the audience. And I'm pretty sure that whatever happens, we as a band and as individuals in a band, we are going to have a great time in the US, that's for sure.
You feel so ready to dance, Master. You seem so, you seem so. You seem so, you seem so, you seem so.
You know me, you know me.
What else? You're the best. Jean-Luc is afraid you didn't like it. Did you like it? How about we come back in next time?
On this episode, you heard Body to Body live from Cold Waves 3, Don't Crash live from 1991, and Masterhit live from Cold Waves 3. Front 242 can be found at front242.com. Our opening music is Euthanasia by Acumen Nation. Our closing music is Messiah by Splinter Group. Subscribe to the show through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. Join us next week as we chat with Clipping. Our closing segment each week is dedicated to the inspiration for Cold Waves, Jamie Duffy. Here is Jean-Luc again, sharing one of his memories.
I don't remember exactly the first time I met Jason and Jamie, because at some point we toured together with C-Tech in 98. I think it was 98. I remember them being quite nice and working really hard and really well for our sound, for our lights. And in the middle of the C-Tech crew, I would say they really needed a lot of petrol. Well, I mean alcohol, in order to go on, sort of. So Jamie, Jason, and I were the moderate part of this crew, and the other members of C-Tech were the most excited part, I would say. And the fact that I was the oldest, they were quite quiet, I must say also. But I heard the story of Cubanate after that. I'm not really surprised about the way